What's your specialty? What do you?
I'm a doctor.
All right. I just drove one to the airport, picked
Yeah.
up another. What's your? But of the physician, what's your
I'm an
specialty?
endocrinologist. Hormones. The food triangle is completely wrong that they had us eating off of for the last 40, 50 years. So,
No way.
So, you
mean
know all the
you
pasta
got
at
that
the
chart,
bottom?
the triangle, just like my triangle?
Yeah. Right, yep.
That's wrong?
It's wrong. For the vast majority of patients, you flip it over and you put steak and fat at the bottom and you put a little bit of carbohydrate at the top. See, if you go to the mall and you look around, you see all these chubby people. What we have done, see, after the war, all these guys came home. They started farming again.
Yeah.
And they were growing like crazy, you know, and everything was there. And the problem was that there was no world market for U.S. agricultural goods because we bombed the crap out of everything, so they didn't have any money to buy anything.
Gotcha.
And so they thought, well, what are we going to do with all this stuff? So they thought, well, you know, let's just feed it to Americans and we'll get them to buy it.
Now you're talking about mainly the carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, wheat, oats, rye, barley, corn.
Okay.
So they came up with this food thing. Now, what partially drove it from a medical standpoint was two findings. One, they were doing autopsies on young guys that were killed during the Korean War. And they had fatty streaks in their coronary arteries, you know, so they had fat buildup. And two, Dwight Eisenhower was having a series of heart attacks. And so they thought, oh, fat, you know, so fat is bad, ingesting fat is bad. Fat leads to coronary disease, and that they ran with that. And as a result, they came up with that in the late 50s to mid-60s. So, but what they've done now is they have a whole generation of diabetics that are probably going to bankrupt the country by 2050.
2050 or 15? No, we're already past that.
2050.
2050.
1 in 3 adults will have diabetes.
Oh my God.
Unless they do something really industrial, so we shall see.
And so, so is the industrial complex seeing that? What they need to do to have the right product for the solution?
Well, there's a lot of new medications. This is an interesting medication you might be interested in.
Please, yes.
So when you have diabetes, your kidneys become, you don't generally urinate glucose unless you're diabetic, okay? Because your kidney is very efficient at reabsorbing the glucose and putting it back into your system. Because the body hates an energy loss. Okay? So what happens with diabetes is that the body becomes even more efficient at avoiding an energy loss. So instead of spilling at, let's say you spill at 150, now it's 240 before you start to spill. Well, as a result, if you think of your blood sugar as a lake, the kidney is the dam and the spillway goes up. Well, the higher your glucose concentration, the more likely you are to have complications related to diabetes. So what they want to do is lower the glucose. There were some individuals who would show up for a DOT exam or something like that that had sugar in their urine but had completely normal blood glucoses. And those people were coined familial hyperglucosuria because it seemed to run in families. So someone said, gosh, what causes that? And so they kind of drilled down and found an enzyme system that's responsible for the reabsorption. And then someone says, okay, let's go outside of the paradigm and let's lower the spillway for glucose. And so there's a bunch of meds out that lower the spillway for glucose now. So the patients actually excrete glucose as opposed to absorb it. So,
wow.
So they lose about.
Wait, no, it's going to Orchard. I'm going to go up there on that a little bit. Let's see. Let's get a little detail there.
Zoom in.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Turn right, left, right. Yeah, I see it there. So you got to be a little bit more. There's more glucose excretion. So the average patient excretes about 20 of those packs at the coffee shop of sugar
Yeah.
a day. So
Wait. You mean the intake of that glucose
yeah.
is causing this problem?
No. The excretion of the glucose through the
Oh,
kidney.
because they're taking those 20 packs or whatever someone is
That's,
successful.
that your body has reabsorbed in excreting it, and that lowers your blood sugar.
Whoa.
What they're also finding, and this is crazy, is that that class of medication is across the board associated with a decrease in cardiovascular morbidity, illness, and mortality. That was just a, oh my God, where did that come from? Finding when they studied the drug. So,
Goodness gracious.
yeah, so
Well, I'll tell you what, you just hit the jackpot.
there you go.
I haven't had anyone explain that detail of that. Very, very fascinating. I don't have a chance of repeating what you just said, though. I mean, maybe I could say the word glucose, but beyond that, you are blowing me away.
Oh, okay, well, there's
Fantastic.
diabetes, endocrinology is rocket science, just like oncology is, or that
Now,
sort of stuff.
Is there a diet? My wife right now is struggling with overweight, and
Right.
so is there a particular diet that you have
Atkins.
found? Atkins?
Honest.
You like that?
Atkins is, you got to watch the salt, but don't eliminate the salt. But otherwise, yeah. So
And what's the nastiest thing you would warn anyone to stay away from? And that is what? In other words, salt? Or
no, carbs.
carbs. So stay away from the carbs because our GIs really shouldn't have done what they did.
Yeah.
All right. So, and you're saying then protein is the opposite to carbs?
No, fat is the opposite
Fat.
of carbs.
Okay. So the protein though is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you eat a lot of protein, then protein is converted to carbohydrate because the body doesn't burn protein; it burns fat and it burns carbs. So
And carbs. Doctor, this has been a wonderful visit.
there you go.
I think I owe you some
Suck
money.
here. No. Nope.
All right. Well, I really, really, really appreciate your input. You've definitely given me another reason to get up tomorrow morning and do it again.
Yeah.
I can pass it.
Right? No, it's right
There's
here.
a car.
There's the car.
It's still there. Oh, wait, I should hold
No,
up.
you're fine.
This is okay?
Yeah.